Welcome to Bruce Hurwitz Presents Meet the Experts. I'm your host, Bruce Hurwitz of Hurwitz Strategic Staffing. You can find us on the web at hsstaffing.com. I hope you consider us for all your staffing, career counseling, and professional writing needs. Momentarily, I will be joined by Tarra Stubbins. We will be discussing achieving your dreams. Meet the Experts is sponsored by P&K CPAs. P&K is a full-service accounting firm. They provide accounting and consulting services to businesses ranging from startups to small and mid-cap companies to nonprofits as well as high-net-worth individuals. Contact them today for a free consultation at info@pk-cpas.com or call them at 973-882-8810. They will be happy to be of service. Tarra, welcome to the program.
Thanks so much for having me.
It is my pleasure. Please take a moment or two and introduce yourself to our viewers.
Sure, I'm Tarra, and I'm the founder of Take It Easy Group, and I am extremely passionate in helping others achieve their own goals. I believe that anyone can achieve the goals that they set out to be in life, to have, all by having just a few simple steps throughout the day.
So you believe in the power of positive thinking?
I believe in the power of positive thinking, absolutely, but I don't think that's the whole reason why successful people achieve their goals.
The reason that I ask is I have a problem with the power of positive thinking in that achieving your goals is not something that is solely dependent on you. You need other people to cooperate or at least not to hinder you. So how can you achieve your goals in, for lack of a better word, and there are plenty of better words, in a hostile or unfriendly environment?
Yeah, so I've had the pleasure of working with some pretty powerful and successful people, ranging from Mick Jagger, Lady Gaga, Richard Branson, Elon Musk. The list kind of goes on and on. And the one thing that I am so fortunate about is I was able to embed myself in their lives. And I've always been really curious as to why they are successful, what makes them a success and what helps them maintain their success throughout the day. And sure, it is not positive thinking at all. It is really staying focused on their end goal, no matter what happens. I truly believe that people who are extremely successful are the ones that keep going and going and going and don't say, there are so many outside factors. I just can't do this. This isn't meant for me. There's always a way to that other side, and really not using a wall as a stopping point when you get to actually achieving your goals or on the path to your goals, but using that wall as just a place to lean, to take a breath, to reflect on some lessons that you may be learning in the process, and then to really be clear to find that door to get through it, to get to the other side.
All of the people you mentioned have one thing in common. They have a lot of money, which means they can hire people so that they can focus on their goal while the everyday interruptions of life are taken care of by the people they hired to take care of those interruptions. But not everybody can do that. Most people can't. So if you're on your own and you can't hire a babysitter, you can't hire someone to come in and clean the house, do the laundry, what have you. If you have to drive yourself and you can't be working in the back seat while you're driving, which would be not only illegal but also extremely dangerous. Since we were mentioning that we're both Canadian, and I didn't tell you, but I actually lived in Toronto for a year. I was just thinking of the 401, and which I believe, if I remember correctly, is 16 lanes, and you can't do anything on that highway except concentrate on driving or you're going to be in a lot of trouble. But anyways, if you can't afford to have somebody to help you with the little things in life, which are distractions from your major goal, what do you do?
It's a great question. So all those people that I mentioned, sure, have the money and the power and the fame now. None of them were born into it. So they all created it themselves. And they all created it by holding on to their vision and never letting it go. I currently work with Drake, and he is one of the most focused individuals I have ever met in my entire life. He will focus and set his mind on an end goal. And if you're not along for the ride, you're actually out from his staff as well. So, but it's him and it's what he wants to do. It's not the money behind it. It is his extreme focus and the fact that nothing is going to stop him. But that being said, those are all famous people with a lot of money. And I have to say that I started my first business with zero business background at all. I had just come off of the road supporting musicians. I had no idea what I was doing. I just had the passion that I really wanted to help more than one crazy rock star at a time. And it was back in 2007 when there wasn't a lot of like resources for entrepreneurs. There wasn't any co-working spaces. An entrepreneur was kind of like a mortgage broker, and that was a real estate agent, and that was about it. So I had to fight my way through, and that was by taking the lessons that I learned on the road and really diving deep into this is my mission, this is my vision, and I'm going to stick to it no matter what the roadblockers are. But if you're struggling, if you have lots of things to do, kids, you're a single parent, you're trying to do like a side hustle, you have a 9 to 5 job, you can still achieve your goals. It just may take a little longer. So it is in the power of time management and really how you are spending those few extra minutes of the day that you have. Are you actually spending them on tasks that are moving the needle a little bit towards your end goal? And if anybody tells me they have no time, I want them to look at their screen time on their phone or their computer and then tell me that they don't have enough time in the day, even just 30 minutes to concentrate on your big goals and your big dreams. Again, we all know, if you say, I want to be healthy, we all know how to be healthy. It's not rocket science, but do we do it? Maybe not. But maybe that's because that's not our end goal. There's nothing stopping us from being healthy. But if our vision and our mission and our own focus isn't 100% driven on being healthy, we're not going to do it. We're going to let the blockers stay in our way. We're going to let I don't have enough time, I don't have enough resources be the excuses to not achieve our goals.
The sign behind you says, take it easy. Nothing you have said is easy.
No. Well, I don't believe that actually. I think it's really easy. All you have to do is just do it. Again, we all know how to how to achieve a business, how to achieve success in our business, how to achieve our goals. We all know how to do it. We just keep making up these excuses not to. And if you have to push past a little tiny bit of pain or uncomfort or boredom to do a task, to get it out of the way, to achieve that end goal, then, again, I find that kind of easy. I hate bookkeeping, reconciling my expenses. Sure, I can outsource it, but I actually force myself to do it because it's something that I don't like doing, but I can force myself to do it. And when I do it, I actually feel really, really good because I've done something not that's hard, but that's hard to push past for me just because I don't really like doing it.
It's funny, I just had a Freudian slip. I was writing the word goals. And instead of GOAL, I wrote GAOL, which was the old spelling for jail.
Oh,
I don't know if that's a brilliant insight or just my stupidity, but in any case, You keep on talking about goals, but the topic that you gave spoke of dreams. Are goals and dreams the same thing?
So a dream is before you take action. A goal is actually taking your dreams to the next level. So we all have dreams, but it's which one of those dreams you actually want to take to the next level and achieve. And being able to achieve our dreams isn't really necessarily going to happen because they're just going to kind of sit there as dreams. But as soon as you start taking action in planning into figuring out when you're going to achieve this big dream, how you're going to do it, what the steps are, then those are goals.
Is there, I'm remembering when I would be writing my master's thesis, my doctoral dissertation, those were times when I would get writer's block. And I went to my professors, and every one of them gave me a different piece of advice, from taking a walk, going to a movie, playing a stupid game. And the one thing that resonated with me was the professor who said, just sit down and write it. There's another word for what I'm describing, that's procrastination. Now, you gave a good example. You don't like bookkeeping, but you do it, and then you get a sense of accomplishment from doing it. Is that the key to staying focused, that you need to have successes? For example, with weight loss, if you get on the scale and one day you're down 3 pounds, you're great, you're going to continue. The next day you get on the scale and you can't figure out why you've just gained 2 pounds. So forget about it. It's not it's not worth it. What is your solution to procrastination?
That's a great question. And I think there's two parts to your question as well. So first is kind of about procrastination, but the other is creating your own kind of motivation. So it's interesting because the productivity industry right now is worth over $8.5 billion. And so that's a lot of apps telling you, to be productive, tracking habits, a lot of books, a lot of people like me standing up on stages telling you how to be productive or achieve your goals. But even with the power of AI and the creation of robots, there is not anything that is actually going to do all the tasks for you fully to completion, except for you. So you are the one who has to bring it across the finish line. I always think, again, I don't like bookkeeping, but another thing that I always set my sights on is I really want to drink more water throughout the day. And, sure, there's apps and programs where I can like remind myself to drink water, where I can track my water, where I can create pretty pictures every time I track it. There's like millions of different ways where I can set myself up for success to actually drink the water. But right now, there is no robot out there that is going to come and pour that water down my throat. That is me. I have to do that. So it's getting over the hump, and just like your professor, of just sitting down and doing it, just picking up that glass of water and drinking it. And a lot of times we like to overcomplicate things. So we like to pick up the newest app. We like to figure out, the newest program or project management tool or whatever it is, the newest hack in how to get things done more quickly and efficiently. But it really comes down to simplicity and, one, what works for you. If creating pretty pictures or a string of like habits throughout the week, or, listening to a music or going for a walk helps you, then please do it. But it's really just all about what is actually making you just do the thing, just actually do it. And you'll feel so much better after it. And I know a lot of us wait for that lightning strike moment to happen. So we wait for the motivation. We wait until the perfect time. We wait until we feel really good to start. But like that's not coming. We have to create that ourselves. And the way we create it ourselves is by just pushing past the pain a little bit, just pushing past the procrastination, all those thoughts in our head, and actually doing it. And then we feel really, really great about it. It's actually interesting. There's a statistic that is a lot of us think that external blockers, as you mentioned in the beginning, make up most of the reasons why we can't achieve a task or achieve our own goals. So, you know, the coworker at work is very noisy in the office, or I don't have great internet at home to work remote, or I don't have enough money to help me. But all of those external blockers actually only make up 20% of the reasons why people don't achieve their goals. The other 80% is actually all our internal blockers. So us thinking, I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, I'm not fast enough, all of these things, I can't do it, this is too boring, I don't want to do it. All those things are actually, all those internal reasons are actually the reasons why we're stopping ourselves from achieving our own goals, dreams, reality. And it's actually, I love this stuff because if everybody knew that they just had to push past a little bit of that pain, then they can actually get to the other side and feel really, really great about it.
I was going to ask something else, but it sounds like you're saying that the problem is that we're introverts.
I don't know if we're introverts, but the problem is that we like to stop ourselves with our internal thoughts. So even extroverts can have the internal thoughts of, I'm not smart enough, I'm not fast enough, I'm too overweight, I'm too skinny, I don't have enough money, I can't do this. But it's really changing those thoughts. And you don't even have to change the thoughts. You don't even have to think positively. You just have to start doing the task. So again, you can be wanting to lose weight, and you can be, you know, on a lower kind of carb diet or lower calorie diet, and maybe you're hungry. So are you going to push past the pain a little bit on the day to day when you're hungry, and then, you know, get to the other side and feel really, really great about yourself? Or are you going to stop?
Thank you for that. The question I was planning on asking, I'll ask now. How do you know that the goal, well, you know, a dream, if I remember Freud correctly, is an unconscious desire? Comes out when you're asleep. This is what you would really like to have happen. And there are people who wake up and remember their dreams. There are people like me who almost never remember their dreams. So an unconscious desire, there's a reason it's unconscious. When it becomes conscious, how do you know that there's reality there? Because, for example, I would like to be a physicist. Physics has always fascinated me. Can't do it. Don't have the brain wired in that way. I can't do it. I can do a lot of things. I can do a lot of things well. You don't want me to be your physicist. You don't want me to be your engineer. You don't want me to be the architect of the building you're in right now. Otherwise, if there's a good wind, you're going to have a problem. How do you do the reality check on your dreams and goals?
Yeah, so I'm still a huge believer in anybody can achieve their goals. If you tell me you want to go to space, you can go to space. It just, again, may take a little bit of time, and it may take extreme focus and dedication. I'm not saying you can do it as a pastime, but you can definitely do anything you set out to do. But If you don't have the time to do that, or you don't feel ready that you want to dedicate the time to do whatever your dream is, there is a way that I really like using, and that is I always write on a piece of paper my big dream and or goal, as I like to say it, because now I'm actually taking action to make it a reality. And on that, I'll write my why, which is something that is not unheard of. There's, a book about it. There's a lot of podcasts and talks about why knowing your why is important. And I am a big believer in that as well. So why do I want to achieve this dream, which is now a goal because I've written it down and I'm taking action, and making that why very specific. So my goal shouldn't be I want to be rich. It should be I want to make $1 million by $1 million profit by the end of 2024. And why? It shouldn't be because I like money. It should be because I want to give back to the Children's Aid Society, or I want to be able to live financially free so I can do X, Y, and I'm going to be Canadian, Z. Um, so, whatever it is for your why. So be as specific as possible with your goal, be as specific as possible with your why. And now what you do is you write down your blockers. So absolutely everything that's stopping you from hitting that goal. So if your goal is, again, is to make $1 million profit and you've made zero so far, maybe it is, I'm starting from nothing, or I'm starting from negative amount of money. Maybe your goal is to be, to create a new product, but you have no idea what the product should be. So just write down all of those blockers, as many as you can think about it. You can do it in multiple settings. It doesn't have to be just at one time. And then when you look at your goal and you look at your blockers and you think, there's no way I'm going to overcome these blockers to get to this goal, that means that goal isn't for you. That means that when you're going through life and those blockers come, you're not passionate enough, you're not focused enough and driven enough to get past those blockers. Doesn't mean that that goal isn't necessarily for you, never ever. You can maybe break it down into a smaller step that is more, bite size, that you can actually figure out, okay, there's not too many blockers here that are stopping me. I can actually still get past these blockers, and I'm actually really excited to get past those blockers. That excitement and that drive isn't there, you're never going to achieve your goals.
I had a career counseling client come to me, and she was very good at science. She was exceptional with customer service, a nicer person you would not want to meet. And I said, I don't understand what the problem is. You're interested in being in the airline industry. You understand what a plane is and how a plane works. What's the problem? You've got a customer service background. Lord knows airlines need quality customer service people. What's the problem? And she said, I want to be in those days, it was acceptable to say a stewardess. Now I had a problem, because this woman would probably be called by a physician morbidly obese. So she would not be hired. And the weight loss probably took, if she achieved it, would have taken years. And by then she would have been too old. So it wasn't a realistic goal, even though she was passionate about it and knew exactly what the blockers were.
Yeah. But she knew she couldn't push past those blockers. They were stopping her.
But she couldn't push back against those blockers because they were tangible. They weren't things that were just in her mind, I don't want to do the bookkeeping, so I'm going
Well,
to.
it sounds like time wasn't on her side, right? So if she started that goal when she was 20, then she would have 100% been able to do it. But if she's starting it when she's 55, then maybe she's not going to be able to achieve that goal by
She
the
was
time she
closer to
wants to
30.
retire.
She was closer.
30, then she would have so much time to lose the weight and achieve that, and to
There's
be that.
there's an age limit. She told
Not
me,
anymore. Maybe then, not anymore.
okay. But there are some times when there are constrictions,
Yeah,
and
of
there's nothing you can
course.
do about it. And if for the first 20 years of your life you didn't think of doing this, and now all of a sudden you've gotten the desire, but you just can't do it. It's
Nope. Again, those are the blockers that are just stopping you, that you can't. And that's
yeah,
why
but the
you write down
blockers
those
are real.
blockers.
The
Hmm.
if somebody is 50 and they're a pilot of small aircraft and they've been flying and they're enjoying it, and then when they reach the age of 60, they say, I'd like to be a commercial pilot. Well, no, you can't be a commercial pilot. You're too old. They won't hire you. It's as simple as that. It's not a blocker. It's just reality.
Hmm.
So when you
It's a blocker, but yes, it's absolutely. So it will make you make your goals,
uh-huh.
maybe not the one that you have to go at after right now. Maybe you should pivot your goals into something else that you're passionate about.
Which brings me to my penultimate question. How does compromise fit in with your approach?
I think compromise is something that we all have to do, even on a day-to-day basis. But I believe that you can get way too negative, and I can never do this. I'm never able to do this. I have to compromise too much. I always have to pivot on a daily basis, and that's just going to send you into a spiral of never succeeding. So if your compromise is still towards your end goal, or at least close to your end goal, then absolutely. Like, I compromise on a daily basis as a business owner. I set out to have what I want to achieve on the day, and I never get it done because I have staff, I have clients, things come up. I'm an adult. I have to feed myself. I have to do the laundry. Like, things happen throughout the day, and I have to compromise. But I always have my end goal in mind, and I'm always working towards it. And so I don't compromise my end goal as much as I'm compromising the little tasks throughout the day. In your situation about the pilot or the flight attendant, I would compromise just a little bit. So maybe they can't be a flight attendant, but maybe there is some place for them in, tourism at a resort, or working somewhere else in the airline industry. If there is the commercial or the small plane pilot that wants to be a commercial pilot and they can't because of their age, maybe there is another step that they can take. Maybe there is a different country that has a different age range that they can, go and apply for. Maybe there is a medium-sized airline that they can go apply for. So I believe in compromise, but not fully changing it into, I can't do that. I'm going to throw that dream out and never do that again.
And on that note, I'm going to share your contact information, make us magically reappear, and ask my final question. Is there anything that I have not asked, which you wish I had asked? And if I had asked, what would you have said?
Oh, that is a great question. I always get asked, I do a lot of podcasts, and I always get asked if like having, or what my big aha moment was. throughout for creating my business. So as I said, I came off the road and opened up my own business with zero business background at all. And people always wonder why. Why was that a big dream of mine? And I like to tell my fun little story of when I was out on the road supporting a pretty big named rock star, who I can't name, unfortunately. But one of his crazy requests at that time was every time he traveled, he wanted his toothbrush to be sanitized in a hotel dishwasher. So every time the toothbrush came out of the suitcase, which was almost daily because we were traveling from city to city, I had to take it down to the kitchen and ask for it to be put through their dishwasher cycle. And people always asked me why I actually did it and didn't just run it under, hot water and say I did. And I have to say I did it every single time. I guess that's my integrity, and I just did it. People always ask why he didn't just buy another toothbrush every single time. And I don't know. I learned a long time ago not to ask rock stars why. They do crazy stuff and you just don't want to be a part of it. So I just did it. And a lot of hotels would know that we were coming and be like, oh, yeah, here comes the crazy lady with the toothbrush again. But there was this one time we were in Shanghai and this very new hotel, and we never stayed there before. And I was trying to communicate in a language, I only spoke English. They didn't understand me. I didn't understand them. That I had to put this toothbrush in the dishwasher. And they were looking at me like I had three heads. It was probably one of the most awkward experiences of my life. And I just remember standing there with toothbrush in hand, thinking there's got to be more to life than this. And that's when I had my big aha moment that I'm still super passionate about helping others. I've always believed that I've been put on this planet to help others succeed. And I just wanted to help more than one crazy rock star at a time. So I came off the road with that big, big dream and goal and vision of I just want to help more than one crazy rock star. And I made my way through to creating now two multi-million-dollar businesses.
I can't think of anything to top that. Only thing that surprises me, I always thought that hotel or restaurant dishwashers had to have the water at a minimum temperature. And I'm surprised that the toothbrush wouldn't have melted.
I know. It came out very, very hot, but it did not melt. People have also told me that hotel dishwashers are actually not very sanitary and that they are pretty dirty. So I don't know. I never asked why.
The I actually got it right, but you know what the dirtiest thing is in a hotel room?
What?
The TV remote.
Yes, I've heard that.
Yeah. Yeah. And on that pleasant note, I want to thank you for a very intriguing and fun interview. I appreciate it, and I'm sure our viewers do as well.
Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. I'm Bruce Hurwitz. Thank you for watching. And as always, please stay focused on success.